Made famous as the frontman and leader of the Black Eyed Peas, Will.I.Am is much more than a songwriter and producer, a visionary, an entrepreneur that embraced street culture and technology, created a multicultural identity that reached a wide demographic.
I mean, the guy is clearly a genius at business and at technology as well, and I think that's very much where his future lies.
I don't think there's anything that's out of his reach when it comes to technology, when it comes to music, when it comes to collaborations. Everyone wants a little piece of Will.I.Am.
All right, okay. My name is Will.I.Am. I'm hitting this little thing called conga room, and we just having some fun. We just having some fun. We just having some fun. Yeah, my name is Will.I.Am, and I'm hearing this little thing called a Congo room, and we having some fun, having some fun. We just having some fun. Bring the drums, and I'm here on this stage rapping for ya. I got rhymes that might destroy ya.
Fashion, technology, acting, and business. Will.I.Am is an artist who looks to the future.
Don't, count him out ever, because he's really going to be one of those that sort of leads us into the future.
From the LA ghetto,
What, you didn't think I was from the projects?
to superstardom, Will has achieved many of his visions, but still continues to dream.
I can see him climbing mountains he hasn't even begun to scale so far. I can see him being a real captain of industry, a CEO of a tech company, running his own record label. I think as the years go by, he'll still be very much involved in music, his first love, but all his other interests will come to the fore.
In 2015, Will.I.Am announced that the Black Eyed Peas would be making a comeback for their 20th anniversary. And in July 2015, the Black Eyed Peas released a new single celebrating the roots of hip-hop and the music that inspired Will.I.Am as a youngster.
Well, I think Will.I.Am's legacy is really about not boxing in an artist into a particular field. What Will.I.Am has really proved as a singer, a songwriter, a producer, an innovator, an entrepreneur, and an inventor, a designer, that he can do an awful lot of things very well. And people who are talented in the entertainment industry shouldn't just be put in one box necessarily.
The world is Will.I.Am's oyster. Will.I.Am is a multifaceted entertainer and creative innovator, a 7-time Grammy Award winner and founder of I.Am.
This season, I'm continuing with me personally, my I.Am scholarship, where I send kids to school. I send 5 more kids to school this year, and sustaining my I.Am home, where I rescue families from losing their homes, especially at this point in time, because people have no jobs and no way to pay for their mortgages. And I travel around the world and DJ to raise money for that cause. So we'll be doing that next year, this and next year as well.
It's just the way my mom raised me, to care and do all I can to help people out in need. Someone helped me out when I was in the ghetto. Someone was there to make sure people in my poverty-stricken area had survival utensils and things like that. So coming out of that, I don't know any other way to behave but to give back to people in need.
The Black Eyed Peas have sold over 31 million albums and 58 million singles worldwide. And Will has also worked with some of the industry's biggest names, including Rihanna, Usher, Nicki Minaj, Britney Spears, David Guetta, and film composer Hans Zimmer.
oh, Will.I.Am, you know, one of the greats at this point. And, you know, I've been going over the rehearsal script and I've been seeing him in there so many times. And, you know, just congratulations to him and all his success. It's real big, real big. Thank you so much.
I think he's doing really interesting things with pop structure, where it's no longer just verse pre-chorus, bridge. You know, he's mixing it up, and it's kind of just one hook after another, and everybody's following suit. He's really a trendsetter, and I admire him greatly. And he also has great taste in track people as well.
I think it's amazing what he's done for music, what he's accomplished with his group, and just producing-wise. I mean, he's just an incredible all-around artist to me, and just to be recognized here tonight, I think it's long overdue for him.
Super excited, man. Congrats, Will.I.Am. Like Dre, me and Dre always talking like, yo, who's running the game right now? Dre's like, yo, Will.I.Am is that dude. You know what I'm saying? So congrats again. Much continued success.
You know, we travel places that and play music to areas that don't even speak English. For example, France. They don't have to play our music. You know, there's great French musicians, you know, and it isn't like you come to America and hear French songs. So France doesn't have to play us, but they choose to, you know, and same with Japan and China and Brazil and Argentina. So if we're going on behalf of the music community, whether it's pop, rock, blues, samba, jazz, you know, all folk music, traditional African rhythms, if we're going around the world representing the music community as a whole and opening our hearts and being a part of massive good, then not only does it educate other musicians to support massive good, but other travelers that want to travel the world and, you know, learn about culture and life. You know, music is a language that breaks through language barriers, right? It's a wonderful thing that we have as humans on the planet, music. And if you could aim that to help people, then that's massive good.
Will.I.Am's rise to the top of the music game has been achieved with vigor and a unique sense of creativity that has seen him become not only a pop superstar, but also an innovative trendsetter, and his journey began with humble roots.
Will.I.Am grew up in East LA, a largely Hispanic area. He was one of the very few African-American kids in the neighborhood.
Again, I'm blessed to have my life changed a bunch of times, coming from where I come from. And a lot of that change comes from encouragement, like my neighbors encouraging me, like, to, hey, Willie, come sing for us. So, you know, it was all Mexicans in my neighborhood, and, you know, I was like, my family was the only black family. And there's a lot of gang banging and drugs, kids selling drugs at 11, kids carrying pistols and doing things that kids shouldn't be doing. But I was encouraged by Father John and my next door neighbors, and they would say, hey, Willie, come sing for us. Come do the dance you did yesterday. So, and that encouraged me, you know, just the simple, you know, request for me to dance or sing. And it steered me in the right direction.
He was raised by his mum, and he lived in a home with his mum and his grandma and his two siblings and his aunt and his uncle. And it was an impoverished life. The housing project was drug-ridden, crime-ridden. So really it was a miracle that he came out with the education that he did. The reason why was because his mum was a teacher. She sent him an hour away every day to school, to a private school, where he got the education that he needed.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Nanny. It's my grandma right there. She prays for us. family in the middle, my projects people, what's up? Thank you guys so much.
His mom was really encouraging of his music career, and she made sure that he attended really good schools.
And then my teachers in my high school, Miss Montez and Mr. Wright, encouraging me to, follow my dream. And of course, my mom encouraging me. So that changed my life.
He went to high school on the west side of Los Angeles in a more affluent community, and he met his Black Eyed Peas, eventually his Black Eyed Peas bandmate, Apple to App, and together they started making music in high school.
And that's my best friend right there. And Apple, thank you for believing. He's my biggest inspiration because you talking about, I'm from the projects, but dude came from the Philippines, he didn't speak any English. And he came to my projects like, wow, I want to live here. I was like, you don't want to live here? You don't want to live here?
Will.I.Am, born William James Adam Jr., and Alan Pineda, aka Apple to App, met when they were 13 years old in the 8th grade in 1988. Alan came from the Philippines, adopted by the father who had been supporting him long distance. The two of them were part of Tribal Nation, a breakdancing crew. At the time, the boys performed with their other breakdancing buddies in parking lots, prior to A Tribe Called Quest concerts. The duo eventually met Jamie Louise Gomez, better known now as Taboo. He was from the same district as Will, Boyle Heights in East Side LA, and was also into breakdancing. Taboo relates that the Hispanic community in his district didn't appreciate his form of physical expression, and that breakdancing wasn't seen as cool back then, and that it was also frowned upon for Mexicans to be seen mixing with the Afro-American community. Will.I.Am and Alan embraced Taboo for his individuality. Meanwhile, Will, who had learned all about computers in elementary school, was also embracing the emerging sampling and beat-driven technology and spent a long time among the rave scene.
As a teenager, he really was into the rave scene. He loved the whole mystery nature of it. Where was the venue? And once he'd found out and he went along, he loved the music as well. It became a huge influence on him, and that suddenly turned a switch in his head. I've got to be part of this.
Will's breakdancing group soon evolved with the addition of rappers and DJs spinning playful rhymes over jazzy samples under the name Atban Clan. An homage to their roots, as Atban is an acronym for A Tribe Beyond a Nation. The group would spend most of their free time at Ballistics, a Los Angeles club, hosted by actor David Faustino.
I'm here tonight to take you back to 1994 when it all started. As you may know, back in the day I was on this little show called Married with Children. I played that Bud Bundy guy, that Grandmaster B guy. But what you might not know is that at night, I was bringing hip-hop to the Sunset Strip. You know that? Which at that time was no small feat because rock and roll ran the scene. The spot was called Ballistics, and we welcome all Hollywood socialites, hipsters, young music execs, artists, and of course, hip-hop heads. Every week, I would host a freestyle rhyme battle, and undoubtedly, there was one MC who caught the most wreck, and that one was Will.I.Am. And as you know him today, Will.I.Am. This man rose to freestyle supremacy week after week by taking down MC after MC until one day he was discovered and signed by Ruthless Records owner, the late, great Eric Eazy-E Wright.
Eazy-E had formed Ruthless Records with businessman Jerry Heller and created the group NWA with Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and DJ Yella. NWA were smashing out hits with their albums Straight Outta Compton and generating millions for Eazy-E and Heller. NWA were known for their violent and controversial lyrics, and it was ironic that the upbeat music of At-Band Clan recorded while they were still in high school caught the attention of Eazy-E. At-Band Clan's music was only available through underground tapes and word of mouth, but it came to the attention of Jerry Heller by the way of his nephew. At-Band Clan were signed to Ruthless Records in 1992, and they recorded their debut album, but it was never released due to the tragic death of Eazy-E. After Eazy-E had passed, Ruthless Records not only owned At-Band Clan's music, they also owned the group's name. Unable to perform or record as At-Band Clan, the trio regrouped as the Black Eyed Pods and added backup vocalists Kim Hill and Taboo. They also decided to add a live band to their performances, and that's what finally caught the attention of Interscope Records, who signed the group in 1997. After signing with Interscope, the band changed their name once more to the Black Eyed Peas. Their debut album, Behind the Front, was released in 1998.
When a new band launches an album, it's always a big risk. You know, if it flops, you might never see them again. If it's a hit, they're on their way. The Peas' first album, Behind the Front, did okay. Enough to get them a second album. Clearly, they got the respect of the industry, but not the love yet of the fan base.
The group contract was renewed, and in 2000, their second album, Bridging the Gap, was released to critical acclaim. The first single, BEP Empire, reached number 44 in the Hot Rap Singles chart. The trio's music style was more hip-hop based and less mainstream than what the Black Eyed Peas are now known. Following the release of Bridging the Gap, Will began recording his first solo album titled Lost Change, which was the official soundtrack to the film of the same name. The album was a critical success, but not a commercial one. Following the commercial failures of their previous albums and singles, there was doubt over whether or not the Black Eyed Peas would continue to record together. An A&R executive, Ron Fair, approached them and suggested a musical crossover to a more mainstream pop sound. Will.I.Am in particular resisted the idea for fear they would lose their credibility and fan base. However, after discussions and some writing sessions, the idea was pursued. The band started recording sessions for their third album in 2001. While writing the music and lyrics for the song Shut Up about a relationship gone wrong, the group realized a female vocalist could add another dimension to the group.
And so he targeted Nicole Scherzinger, now known as the member of the Pussycat Dolls and a talented performer in her own right. He wanted her to join the Peas, but he couldn't get her. She was contracted to another group called Eden's Crush, couldn't break the contract, so he had to look elsewhere. Fergie came in as very much the second choice, but sometimes it all works out.
Will.I.Am was impressed with Fergie, and she became a permanent member of the band in 2002. The four members continued to work on the group's third album entitled Elefunk, which was to be released in 2003.
It has sold 8.5 million albums, so this is the one that really put them on the map.
Elefunk was the album that really made the Black Eyed Peas soar sky high with popularity. It featured the song Where Is the Love, which, as we all know, followed the 9/11 attacks. It was a real soulful track that really hit home to everyone about how we need to be anti-hate and we need to be pro-love and we need to basically do everything right for the world. It made everyone feel really positive, but also very emotional, and it showed that the Black Eyed Peas had a heart.
Where Is the Love, an infuriatingly catchy hit single for the Peas, it featured Justin Timberlake. He didn't feature in the accompanying video.
By the end of 2001, Will.I.Am had created a beat and guitar part that he liked and started writing some socially conscious lyrics. As it was decided that the band would be moving in a more mainstream direction, they needed the assistance of an established pop star to help them push the band in the right direction. Justin Timberlake displayed enthusiasm for working with the Black Eyed Peas. It allegedly took him 15 minutes to write the lyrics for the chorus of the song Where Is the Love, after he heard the song on the phone and was initially excited about it. The final version of the song was so strong, it was decided that it would be the first single from the album, when the band had initially assumed the song Shut Up would be their first hit. By the time the single was released, almost 2 years after its creation, Timberlake was in the midst of promoting his own debut album. His label Jive did not want overexposure, so did not allow Timberlake to appear in the music video, but still allowed his vocals on the track. A possible regret, since the song has so far sold more than 2.5 million copies worldwide.
This very catchy, very beautiful song, which most all of us still can sing to this day, was really what put the Black Eyed Peas to the front of the mind of audiences. In the video for Where Is the Love, you see Will.I.Am and the other members of the group, and Fergie as well, running around as if they're anarchists, but instead of promoting anarchy, they're promoting peace and love. And really the song Where Is the Love, it just shows this kind of underground movement, kind of like a Million Man March, except they're trying to promote getting along with each other, being kind to each other, and really being a good person. So it's a very positive, uplifting message.
The video of Where Is the Love is a big social commentary. You know, the Black Eyed Peas talk about this a lot, but this is really about racial equality. And start thinking about it. You know, we don't all come from the same background, but it really is important to love one another, and I think that they just wanted to get people thinking about that.
You gotta have love just to set it straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love, y'all.
People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach and would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. These people got me questioning, where is the love?
The love, the love, where's the love, the love, where's the love, the love, where's the love, come on, y'all, we need some love, y'all, the love, where's the love, y'all, where's the love, y'all. Feel the weight of the world on my shoulder. As I'm getting older, young people get colder. Most of us only care about money making. Selfishness got us following the wrong direction. Wrong information always shown by the media. Negative images is the main criteria. Infecting the young minds faster than bacteria. Kids wanna act like what they see in the cinemas, yeah. Whatever happened to the values of humanity? Whatever happened to the fairness and equality? Instead of spreading love, we're spreading animosity. Lack of understanding leading us away from unity. That's the reason why sometimes I fell under. That's the reason why sometimes I fell under. It's no wonder why sometimes I fell under. Gotta keep my faith alive, the love is found.
People killing, people dying, children hurting, hear them crying. Would you practice what you preach? Would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. These people got me questioning. Where is the love? Love, 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 love. Where's the love? Love, love, love. Where's the love? Love, where is the love? The love, the love, y'all. Where's the love, y'all?
2 years later, the band released a new album entitled Monkey Business. The album was a commercial success, but still received mixed reviews from music critics, particularly over the song My Humps, a song that was originally written for the Pussycat Dolls. The song was released after it became an unsolicited hit on mainstream radio across the United States. The track, even with a lack of promotion, surpassed the highly promoted track Don't Lie. My Humps became one of the biggest songs of 2005 despite an incredible amount of criticism, with some critics labeling the song tasteless.
The music video for My Humps, designer labels, designer jeans, designer jewelry, and designer booty. What a video it is. They very cleverly put Fergie front and center in this one. Will.I.Am's in the background doing the backing vocals, and he pushes Fergie to the front here and lets her be the star. And boy, does she ever take that baton and run with it. A fantastic performance, a great video, and I really enjoyed her Lady Lumps.
The video My Humps is like a love song to Fergie's ass, basically. I mean, the whole video is like a picture of her bottom and actually dances around.
We can keep on dating, I keep on demonstrating my love, my love, my love, my love. You love my lady lumps, my hump, my hump, my hump. My humps, they got you. She's got me spending. Oh, spending all your money on me and spending time on me.
And it really kind of launched Fergie as a sex symbol at the time, because it was, I guess with a title like My Humps, you kind of need to show humps, and Fergie has great humps, so she kind of figures very prominently in the video. And the words and the lyrics are really about the kind of jeans she likes, her True Religion jeans or whatever, and it really gives her a great showcase for how she looks in those jeans.
Don't Funk With My Heart, the lead single from the album, garnered the band a Grammy Award in 2006. The Black Eyed Peas had successfully made their crossover to pop.
Monkey Business had a big impact on show business. It sold 10 million copies for the Peas, and in the process made Fergie a star. Around this time, she was becoming almost bigger than the band. You know, the magazines loved her. They loved her look, they loved her sound, and I think she very much helped take the Black Eyed Peas to the next level.
The band announced they were going to take a break and focus on their own personal projects. Will went on to produce Fergie's first solo album, The Duchess, which was released at the end of 2006. That same year, Will started working with Michael Jackson, who had requested Will's expertise for the recording and production of his new album.
So in 2006, Will.I.Am gets the phone call that he must have been dreaming of for so many years. It's Michael Jackson! Can you come and produce my new material? Well, yes, before he could even say yes, please. Will.I.Am was off to meet with Michael Jackson. So over the next couple of years, they worked on developing new material. Now, as we know, in 2009, Michael passed away. So that new material to this day has not been released. The remixes of the old material that Will.I.Am worked on certainly have, but what an honor that was for Will.I.Am, because musicians held Michael Jackson on the very top pedestal in the music business, and when he makes the call, you don't say no. And it was a thrill for him to go along and work with MJ, and it's just sad that we never saw the fruit of their collaboration.
Michael Jackson has been Will.I.Am's idol from the very beginning, and there's a really fun story from back in the day when Michael Jackson turned up in his neighborhood to film Thriller, the video. There were all these warehouses near Will's house, and so Will comes along, says to his mum, Mum, please can I go and watch Michael Jackson filming Thriller? And she's like, no, you can't. Poor Will. All of his friends ended up in the video for Thriller. He had to sit at home. But the most amazing thing is that he ended up working with Michael Jackson on Thriller 25. How amazing is that?
Took a bit of a hiatus. Actually, they took a couple of them because Will.I.Am wanted to work on his solo career, and other members of the band had other interests they wanted to pursue as well. Now, it didn't really happen for him as a solo artist as big as it had with the rest of the band.
After producing Fergie's solo material, Will decided to go it alone. And after 2007, he produced 4 solo albums, but it was Songs for Girls that really caused a big talking point, primarily because it wasn't actually that good an album.
Will.I.Am's third solo album was called Songs About Girls. Now, what's interesting about this is Will.I.Am is famously private about his love life and romantic life. This album is supposedly an autobiographical account of a 7-year relationship that he was in, which then subsequently ended. So it's kind of the journey that he experienced himself going through that relationship. And it's a very personal look at Will.I.Am's life, something we very often don't get to see. Even though it's not his debut solo album, Will.I.Am actually considers Songs About Girls to be his debut first album. I think it's the first album that he felt he got it right and it felt he communicated what he wanted to do. So he considers Songs About Girls to be, in fact, his first solo effort.
For Will, there was always a positive, and for him, that was the opportunity to work with Cheryl Fernandez-Cassini, then Cheryl Cole, who was his collaborator on Heartbreaker. The video of which sees Will in a sort of club, dancing around loads of lights, holding a big red light, a ball of light, which I'm assuming is a heart. And then you get this kind of moment where Cheryl Cole comes in right at the very end. So poor Cheryl didn't get much of an opportunity to showcase her talents on that song, but actually it didn't matter because she got to work with Will.I.Am. And for her, that was amazing.
What's interesting about the video for Heartbreaker, to me, is really 2 things. First of all, we get to see Cheryl Cole dancing up a storm in her harem trousers with Will.I.Am. Now, the 2 were romantically linked at various points, and I think this could have been one of those moments. They definitely have a chemistry, and it's unclear whether or not they were actually dating when they made this video. But what is clear and undeniable is that they have a fantastic electric chemistry between them, and it's a lot of fun to watch them dancing together. The other thing I like about this video is you see Will.I.Am really paying tribute to Michael Jackson in his Billie Jean video with some of his dance moves. He does that kind of Michael Jackson trademark, like a light glide across the floor. And it's interesting because, you know, Will.I.Am worked closely with Michael Jackson up until his death. So he's someone that Will.I.Am knew well and had collaborated with. And so it's nice to see in that video there's a little bit of a nod to Jackson himself.
I'm a heartbreaker. I'm a heartbreaker. I'm a heartbreaker. I'm a heartbreaker. You're a heartbreaker. You're a heartbreaker. You're a heart. Where she go? Where she go? I got some things I gotta let her know.
I think Cheryl is gonna do good here. We'll be seeing her in a couple of days on X Factor. And yeah, look forward for her coming to be fresh. Yeah, you know, songs, good songs. Don't matter what market you're in. Chinese, Japanese, you know, Vietnamese, all the E's, you know, good songs. And she's talented enough to surround herself with people who produce, and she's a great writer. So she'll get those songs.
In January 2008, Will announced plans to release a political album titled Change Is Now, renewing America's promise in support of Barack Obama's presidential campaign.
Looking back at it now, sometimes people often forget that Obama did need that help. When he started out this campaign, he was far behind Hillary Clinton in the polls. But Will.I.Am was able to mobilize his fan base, his celebrity friends, and his social media savvy, and help Obama out. The first thing he did was put together a YouTube video called Yes We Can, Obama's campaign slogan. And what it did was it took the best speeches that Obama had given on the campaign scene and just edited them together, put a dance track underneath it, and so that was the first of several Obama records. He got his friends to work together on an Obama support album, and there were many other people doing little things, and all these helped Obama suddenly build awareness and followers, and led all the way to the White House.
America, yes we can repair this world. Yes we can. Yes we can. Put your hands up if you think we can. Yes we can. Yes we can. If you believe we can, put your hands up. Yes we can.
song needs to make people hope. The song should make people realize their individual importance. So as I was explaining it, you know, I thought of the speech, you know, because that's what the speech did. And then I remembered in school, you know, reciting Abraham Lincoln speeches and Martin Luther King speeches and John F. Kennedy speeches. And I started feeling sorry for the kids today, seeing that there's no political figures or speeches that are current or political figures that they can be inspired by. So I wanted to do my part in getting that speech into schools. So that's how it all came together.
In March 2009, Will.I.Am announced plans for the Black Eyed Peas to return, and within several months, their comeback single, Boom Boom Pow, became an international commercial success.
The video for Boom Boom Pow, very sciencey, very Will, 182 million views. But people found that song really hard to relate to. I think going from Where Is the Love, where you're dealing with real issues, real social issues, to go to a topic such as Boom Boom Pow. What is Boom Boom Pow? I think people struggle to relate to it. But as is always the case with Will.I.Am and the Black Eyed Peas, even if you don't really understand it, you can still think it's cool.
I'm sold 3008, you sold 2000 and late. I got that boom, 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 that future boom, boom, boom. Let me get it now.
Boom, 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 gotta get that 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 boom, 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 that boom, 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 that boom, boom, boom.
In 2009, the second single was released titled I Got a Feeling, in collaboration with the DJ, David Guetta, another hit and another #1 for the Black Eyed Peas. The single replaced Boom Boom Pow as the #1 song in America, making the Black Eyed Peas only the 4th group to replace themselves at #1 in the history of the chart. The hit remained at the top spot for 14 weeks and won the Black Eyed Peas another Grammy Award.
Well, I Got a Feeling that I Got a Feeling is the best music video of the Black Eyed Peas because it really sums up everything they're about. Fantastic beats, great song, Fergie not wearing very much, Will.I.Am looking very cool, and the whole thing being one giant party, all wrapped up in a Hollywood package. You know, it starts on Hollywood Boulevard, and they really were front and center in Hollywood, spreading their message to the world. It's their biggest hit, it's still an enduring hit, fantastic song, great video, love it!
I Got a Feeling is really fun. It's about everyone kind of getting ready for the night that's ahead of them. They're all getting dressed, getting ready. They head out to Hollywood Boulevard. They all meet at a house party. So it's a big, colorful, fun video. And of course, Fergie winds up in a bikini, so you know that it's a good party.
Tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night. Feel it. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night.
The Black Eyed Peas went on to have 3 #1 hits before releasing their album, The End. The album's success warranted a second comeback album, The Beginning, released in November 2010. The album spawned another 3 hit singles, but the band soon announced plans that they were going to take another hiatus, followed by the conclusion of their world tour. In 2009, Will.I.Am worked with rappers Flo Rida and Akon for Flo Rida's second studio album, Roots, and recorded 4 tracks with Girls Aloud member Cheryl Cole for her debut solo album, 3 Words. He also worked with Rihanna on her 4th studio album, Rated R, for a track called Photographs. In February 2010, he wrote and produced the single Oh My God by Usher, which appeared on Usher's 7th studio album, Raymond vs. Raymond.
You make me wanna say, oh my, oh my, oh my.
Thanks, Hush.
No doubt, baby.
On October 25th, 2011, it was reported that Will.I.Am would be joining The Voice UK as a coach.
Will.I.Am's participation in a show like The Voice has really given him a voice to a much larger audience. You know, we always heard him singing, he did the occasional interview, but watching shows like The Voice has actually given us an understanding of who is Will.I.Am, his personality, even the sound of his voice when he's speaking, which is something most of us didn't know.
And it changed my life because my whole time making music, I've been in a group of 4 people, and they're still my best friends. And when you're with best friends and you're all on a stage, you have to, pull back a little bit so everybody has a chance to shine. So my whole career, I've been pulling back. And on The Voice, people were like, "Wow, I didn't know you were like that." It's like, dang. And it really made me realize, like, wow, people in the UK really appreciate my personality. They didn't have to. They could have said, "Who's this American dude that needs to be, somebody from Britain deserves that job."
He added true authenticity to the panel because he got the respect of every contestant, because here in Will.I.Am is someone who understands every aspect of the business. So when he gives you some advice, you'd better listen, so he's a great judge. He actually called his friend Cheryl Cole for advice on how to be a talent show judge, because it was very important for him to keep a poker face when he's first seeing the performers, so he doesn't give it away to the audience immediately what he says. It has much power, he learned from Cheryl, if you just wait and then give your opinion at the end, so it's a bit of surprise and suspense. So he learned a lot from her, so she was able to help him out just as with her talent show experience, like he had helped her out in her music career. And I think he's a really good judge on The Voice because, like I say, he knows of what he speaks.
Yeah, it's like turning the soil.
Yeah.
Right?
Into gold. No.
So turning the soil so you can keep planting more seeds.
Oh, get it. Not metaphor. Get it.
So we're turning the soil. So our industry needs to be healthy, and there needs to be like some artist development going on. You plant some seeds, watch it grow, pick the fruit.
Gluten-free.
Yes, gluten-free. Gluten-free fruits.
He really wanted to encourage people. He didn't want to make people, scared of his commentary. He wanted to make sure that he helped make their dreams come true. And he did so well in the UK, he eventually joined The Voice also in Australia.
Are you the nice show compared to other maybe talent shows on UK TV?
Am I the nice show?
Are you guys the nice show? Because you all seem to get along.
We like to be the encouraging show, like the show that kind of makes you feel like you can carry on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Will.I.Am has said he would never participate in a show like The X Factor because he feels that it's more about criticizing and judging by people who, apart from Randy Jackson, who he singles out, really don't know what they're talking about. Which probably wasn't the nicest thing to say about his longtime friend Cheryl Cole, but Will.I.Am feels that The Voice is a much better forum for artists to be discovered for their talent.
Man, let me tell you something about The Voice. I'm having such a great time. I thought it was gonna be fun. I didn't think it was gonna be this fresh. It's like super duper fresh.
Why is it going to be better than any other sing and talent show? What's the difference between it and the others?
All right. So I performed on, I mentored on the other one, and then I mentored on the other one too. So I've worked on all 3. Performed on the other 2. I haven't performed on Voice. This one is like synonymous to how it actually is in the music industry. The other one is like, the other 2 are cool. I don't want to, diss anybody. But this is a little realer, right? It's really about the way the industry should work. And that's, you have a great voice. Not like you got a dope look.
Also in 2011, along with his participation on The Voice, Intel Corp named Will.I.Am as Director of Creative Innovation, with input in developing smartphones, tablets, and laptops.
He's somebody that big companies recognize has good ideas, want him on board to help kind of push the envelope and innovate, which is something he's very good at.
Following his recruitment at Intel Corp, Will expanded his forays into iPhone accessory development, and he announced plans to release a camera enhancer that was to dramatically enhance the clarity and definition of iPhone photographs. Termed the I.M+, the device was the first in a series of digital real estate for the singer.
So this one is the V5, I.M+ V5, and here's the V4 for the iPhone 4. This one is has interchangeable lenses, right? And we have a fisheye lens, a zoom lens, a 360 lens, and a panoramic lens. That's these puppies. And a doper flash. This one's unique because it has a keypad on it, and a lens, and a battery for everything. And this one is unique for the 5 because it has its own sensor. So it takes your iPhone 4 from a 7 megapixel to a 14 megapixel with a flash and this toggle for all your filters.
Will, I'm intrigued by the bling. Talk us through that, because how important for you is that look? I mean, the gold on that one's great.
Oh yeah, this one's cool. The way that it goes in is like that. It's a case and your iPhone comes out. Right? And we have an all black one. We have a black and silver one, and a black and gold one, white and gold. So yeah, this one's my little fashion one. I like this one. It's a fusion of fashion and technology. I like this.
Man to man, boys and their toys and their gadgets. I mean, it's great. It's great to have something to play with. Can you quite believe that this is yours? It came out of your head.
Yeah. Since January, I had the concept, and specifically in April is when I dreamt this puppy up. In June, we dreamt this puppy up because we found out they were coming out with an iPhone 5 in June. So we're like, oh, shucks. I have an iPhone 5? We've been making our thing for the iPhone 4. So the team quickly shifted gears and did this one, but upped it so where you didn't want to have the same thing. So if the iPhone 5 is a little bit better than a 4, so we had to make our camera better than our 4. But still cool, right? This one's gonna have a keypad as well, but the sensor is what makes it a real thing. Sorry.
These are around for Christmas, so what about your friends? What about Cheryl or Rihanna and people that you know? Are you going to give everyone this for Christmas?
Yeah, I showed it to them already. In August, I had the prototype. I was walking around the studio, and they were like, yo, what's that? They thought it was fake. Right? They were like, what is that, a prop? I was like, no. This is real. So I showed it to the cats, and everybody was digging it. So all the folks that really dug it, I want to get them one for Christmas.
They're all going to see that box under the tree. They go, I know what that is.
Yeah, I can't wait. It means a lot, you know? It means a lot to have executed an idea like this. You know, a song is one thing, a video is another. A campaign theme is another. A crazy concept like sending a song to Mars that's another. That was another one of my kooky, crazy ideas that I pitched to NASA. All for, you know, inspiring young kids to take an interest in STEM. And now this is the other mission on letting kids know that they too can contribute to the worlds of, you know, consumer electronics, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You know, it's all possible.
And this isn't the end of the music. Obviously, you're going to do your tech and do your music at the same time.
Yeah. I want to do music via tech. You know, I always do the comparisons that, you know, our industry, music and television, is all based on technology. You know, whether it's PAL or NTSC or radio, and the hardware that makes all that that software possible, right? So if you think of radio as software, and PAL as software, and NTSC software, for those people that don't know what NTSC and PAL is, it's what's allowing you to see me on your computer or your television. So that's software. And the hardware is your computer and your television, or now your phone. And that's our music industry comes from that. You know, that Grammy that we hold, that's a gramophone. It's just old school technology that we don't buy records anymore. 33 records or 45 or 12-inch, or you know, or CDs. It's just old technology. Now I want to continue to do music with new technology.
Will.I.Am made history by being the first artist to stream a song from the surface of Mars on August 28, 2012. The event took place at 1 p.m. Tuesday, August 28th at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California.
His song, aptly titled Reach for the Stars, made its premiere on the surface of Mars to celebrate the landing of NASA's spaceship Curiosity. Incidentally, it was also the first song to make its premiere on Mars. This is really typical of Will.I.Am to kind of push the envelope and to say, I want to do something that no one else has done before. Being the first artist to launch a single on the surface of Mars is really something that's just, it's very typical of this incredible artist.
Willpower, Will.I.Am's fourth studio album, was released in April 2013. The album was originally titled Black Einstein and was scheduled for release at the end of 2011. The album's first single, This Is Love, features Ava Simmons. The second single, Scream and Shout, featuring Britney Spears, was a commercial success worldwide, topping the charts in over 24 countries.
Scream and Shout is a really fun video. It stars Will and it stars Britney Spears. You've got Will with a massive crown. You've got Britney Spears in multiples. Britney Spears, who's actually got this really crazy English accent, somewhere between Jerry Halliwell and Madonna maybe. But this is the brilliant thing about this video. It's kind of a bit tongue-in-cheek. It shows Britney in a really fun light, which actually I think was really good for that video.
Hey, yo, rock it out, rockin' out. If you know what we talking about, burn it up and burn down the house. Hey, yo, turn it up and don't turn it down. Here we go shake the ground, cause everywhere that we go, we
bring the action.
When you hear this in the club. In the Scream and Shout video, Will really packs no punches when he, you know, kind of announces that he now feels he's the king of pop. In fact, in one shot, he's actually wearing a crown that says king. You know, this is a guy who has an awful lot of confidence, and he really doesn't shy away from labeling himself as at the top of his game, which in fact, with that video and with that song, he really was. She's not exactly back on her game in this video. She kind of stands around a little bit and poses. She's not really dancing very much, but she still looks good. And this was part of Britney's big comeback. So it's really nice to see that she's a part of this video and she manages to pull it off. It's a really nice collaboration. It's a very, very catchy tune and a very catchy beat, and it represented another big hit for Will.I.Am.
Continuing on with his passion for technology and creative flair, Will created a smartwatch called Pulse, which was released in 2014.
So this is a Pulse, and I'm gonna do something from a smartwatch that most smartwatches, actually no smartwatch can do. And that's to DJ Black Friday from my wrist. Here at Bloomingdale's, and thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And this watch is pretty powerful. It's a company that I started called I.Am Plus, and the device that we created is called the Pulse, P-U-L-S. It's a standalone device that I have on my wrist where I can make phone calls, emails, check my Twitter, post tweets, Instagram, Facebook, listen to music. Obviously, I'm here at Bloomingdale's DJing from the device, and it all does all that stuff without the use of a phone.
computer and a true communication device designed from the fashion first perspective, and we're here showing it off.
I got that power. I got that power, 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 power. Yes, y'all. Feeling funky fresh, y'all. Work to be the best, y'all. Work good under pressure. They do all that stress, y'all. Get this off my chest, y'all. Made it out in projects, but this project that progress, y'all. I did it for my mama.
The most important thing for us at I.Am Plus was to create a piece of fashion that was packed with technology. Let's design it like a bangle. Let's design it like a bracelet that, you know, a rock and punk rock group would have wore in 1980 or 1990, 2000. Fashion first, down the runway. You know, Vogue, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent. We kept all of that sensibility in mind first, but stacking it and packing it with awesome technology.
Few figures in contemporary music are as diverse as Will.I.Am. Not only has he sold millions of albums as a solo artist and as the frontman of the Black Eyed Peas, he's contributed to modern-day technological advances with his unique creativity and virtuosity.
What I love about Will.I.Am is not only is he a fantastic performer, but he's also great behind the scenes. He's good at developing new artists, he's great at producing, he loves working with technology, so I think we're gonna see him create more things and more innovations in terms of putting music together with technology. So don't, count him out ever, because he's really gonna be one of those that sort of leads us into the future.
I mean, the guy is clearly a genius at business and at technology as well, and I think that's very much where his future lies.
With the Black Eyed Peas set to make a comeback, Will is set to continue wowing audiences on a global scale.
Next year is the 20th anniversary of the formation of the Black Eyed Peas. And to mark it, they are, woohoo, looking to reunite, go back on tour and come back with a brand new album. The only sticking point apparently is Fergie. Apparently Will.I.Am is having to talk very, very sweetly to her about doing this and maybe upping her salary. Because obviously she's got the new baby now, she's happy with Josh at home. So whether that happens remains to be seen, but fingers crossed.
He came from the ghetto in Los Angeles and rose to become not only a music superstar, but also a creative innovator.
What's extraordinary is where he's come from. This is a kid who grew up in one of the poorest parts of America with a single mom in an area that's rife with crime, who managed to get through school without any drug problems or crime or anything like that, and actually by the age of 17 had put all of his thoughts and feelings into music and had found a very creative outlet for whatever he was feeling. He's proof that no matter where you come from, it doesn't have to determine where you're going. And he is an absolute true success story.
I'm here doing the things that I dreamt of when I was 17. The next 20 years of my life, I'm planning for that, because at 57, I want to have done technology, done a lot of philanthropy, and changed a lot of communities. And it's possible. It's just the next journey. And it's cool to be here with you guys starting it.
Will.I.Am's creative and musical path is set to continue for many years to come.